One of y'all talk first.
I'm up here all the whole time. Anyways, good evening, council. So this is Ed Wall. We had a meeting with him through, and we met Mr. Wall through our attorneys, Fincher Ashby. This was brought about the city trying to get a bond. Now, the best way I can describe the bond in layman's terms, because I know there's a lot in those packets, is a bond helps us get the money from SPLOST up front, which will allow us to complete projects instead of waiting for a little bit of money to come in each time. And then by the time you get to having enough money to complete a project, a new project that's got to be done, and now you got to try to figure out how to split money. So the parking lot that we've been talking about for, I mean, all you guys know how many years? Years. And it's always, well, we got to find the money, we got to do this, we got to do that. A bond allows you to have the money up front to complete those projects, which in turn, like a parking lot, will allow us to generate revenue. It is a self-pay parking lot. But we can go ahead and get stuff done and move forward with the city, move forward with projects that we've all talked about over and over and over, rather than having to wait 6 years for all the money to get here to complete a project. So I'll let Mr. Wall explain the whole backstory to the bond, how it works, everything he does. What he'll need is a vote, a decision for him to look around for the best deal on the bonds, and he can explain interest rates and how all that works.
Thank you, Chief.
I had sent over like a presentation. Y'all have that in front of you, and I'll just hit the highlights of it. Notice that the first page, DeKalb County approved $50 million in bonds along with their sales tax, and they collecting so much money so fast they don't need that much in bonds. But even DeKalb wanted to advance fund some of the projects like the chief was talking about. Turn to the next page. You can see Brookhaven approved bonds along with the DeKalb SPLOST. You can see Clarkston approved bonds with the DeKalb SPLOST. Go to the next page, page 3. Decatur approved bonds with their SPLOST. Dunwoody approved bonds with its SPLOST. Go to page 4. Bam, there's Lithonia. Stonecrest approved bonds with their SPLOST. The one town that did not, I guess Tucker didn't as well, but Stone Mountain didn't. But they've called me and they're wanting to do bonds, and they're going to create an urban redevelopment agency to do bonds through an intergovernmental contract where they didn't actually vote it, but they want to advance fund their projects as well. You can see the ballot question that the voters in DeKalb approved. Yes, no for the equalized homestead option sales tax, and then yes, no on the SPLOST itself. Go to page 6. Here's all the projects for the various cities that were in the ballot question. It almost was like a constitutional amendment. It was so long. Go to page 7. Page 7 is Lithonia's projects. We're limited in what we can do to what was listed in that project. So if you wanted to do a project that wasn't listed on there, you ain't going to be able to do it. But the good thing, you were very wise in your words, and you made it broad enough that it'll cover most everything. So y'all were very smart and thought through how to word that on the ballot question. Page 8, more of the ballot question. Page 9, more of the ballot question. You can see it says that the imposition of sales tax approved by the voters, Lithonia would borrow $2,130,000 along with their sales tax. Page 10, then go to page 11. In conjunction with that resolution calling for the election, you and all the cities in the county actually approved an intergovernmental contract. Then a governmental contract got a wee bit more specific with the projects. You can see here in that intergovernmental contract, here's how you said you were going to spend the $3,069,000 in collections. Transportation improvements, $1.4 million. Infrastructure, $800,000. Capital outlays, $184,000. Facilities improvement, $184,000. And public safety, $500,000. When we do the bonds, it'll be for all of those projects. But just know that when you spending money, if one of those projects goes over, you'll have less money for another project. And so you didn't prioritize how you're going to do it. They're not in order of how you ought to do it, but this is just what you said would be the budget for each one of those projects. Turn to the next page. This Excel spreadsheet that I did for you all way before the SPLOST actually got approved. You're going to collect about $511,000 a month. So if you look at the first column, it says source of funds, and I got SPLOST collections and then interest earnings. You can see by year for 6 years, about $511,000 a year. Notice that's 0% growth. So hopefully you're going to collect more than this. This was a conservative projection. Interest rates right now at the Georgia Fund One's at 5.4%. So I've got you earning interest earnings on the SPLOST as you collect it. So if you didn't do bonds, every year you can only spend $511,000 on that $3 million worth of projects. And by the time you got out to 28, 29, and 30, inflation and the cost of property, you won't be able to do for the same price what you can do today. So you look down total source of funds by year, about $524,000 a year. Let's look at the use of funds. I've got the principal and interest on your $2,130,000 bond. Look all the way to the right, the principal, you can see there's a $2,130,000 that the voters approved. I've got the interest payment there at $306,000. And notice what I've done, I've left some money every year for pay as you go. So that if you spend all of the bond proceeds in the next 2 years or say 2.5 years, there'll be projects coming up of a capital nature that you don't know about today. And so I've left you money to do that all during the whole 6-year time of the SPLOST. And if the SPLOST happens to grow like it has been growing in the past, you'll have more than that for pay as you go. Turn to the next page, page 13. Right now, I'm expecting the interest rate. You can see the third column at 3.98%. That's a fixed rate for the 6-year term. A year ago, that number would have been 1.98. Federal Reserve, been raising rates pretty heavy, have raised it 5.5%, and it's affected the short end of the yield curve. So the 20-year and 30-year bonds, that interest rate's only up about 1%, but the short term is up 2%. Actually 1 year and 2 years up 5% from what it used to be. And so that's the rate that I've sold various debt across the state of Georgia in the last 2 weeks. And that's the rate that I expect you would get in today's marketplace. If you all wanted to approve going forward with it tonight, I would prepare a term sheet. I call it it's like a bid, for lack of a better word, and send it out to about 70 banks in the state that are actively buying municipal bonds. And I'll give them about 2 weeks to give me a bid. And if there's anybody here locally, a bank locally, the chief will give me that name and I'll make sure they get a copy of the bid. And I and my staff work them hard, to make sure that they turn in a bid. Well, about 2 weeks, we'll have a bid opening. And whoever gives us the lowest interest rate for the terms that I dictate, I compare that to if you were to go to New York and get a credit rating and sell bonds to the public. And normally the interest rate I get is about the same as you can get if you had to go through all that rigmarole. And I come to you with a bond resolution prepared by Winston Denmark, Lithonia Wiley, Alicia Thompson. They work with a bond lawyer named Earl Taylor, who was on the call the other day that we had with your staff. And I'll come back to you in about 2 or 3 weeks with a bond resolution where you actually approve the final interest rate. So that's it. I hope it wasn't too much, Mayor.
It wasn't too much.
Okay.
Very brief.
Any questions from council? Starting from my right, I know you just walked in, you okay? Okay. Councilwoman Henderson?
Allergies came out of nowhere. But no, everything sounds good. Can you restate the interest again with the bond?
So I'm expecting 3.98%. So somewhere around 4%.
And interest earning is at 5%.
5.4, yes, ma'am. And so you get to invest, you borrow money at a tax exempt rate. The interest on your debt is exempt from federal and income taxes, federal and state income taxes. And so you get a lower interest rate than you and I, when we go to the bank, we borrow money at a taxable rate. And you get to invest it at a higher return. They call that arbitrage profit, provided you spend all the money in 2 years pursuant to a drawdown plan. And you have to spend 10% in 6 months, 45% in a year, 75% in 18 months, and all of it in 2 years. If you spend it like that, that difference between 4% and 5.4%, you get to keep. If you miss one of those 6-month targets, you only get to keep 4%, not the 1.4% profit.
Okay. And that's because we're nonprofit.
Because you're a tax exempt, you're a political subdivision, they call it, a government.
Sounds good to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilwoman Shepherd? No, this how we stated quietly, but I was saying to myself, this not the type of thing we need to be sitting on. We gotta move on this.
A lot of numbers, a lot of percentages moving back and forth. My question is, the cost of the bond, how much you say the cost of the bond was
About
going to be?
2%.
2%. And what's your cost?
Mine's 1%, and the lawyers.
1% of the whole bond?
Yes, sir. That's $21,000.
Of what part of the bond? You're saying the
So
2
the bond
million, 1% or
The
1% of the first payment?
No, sir. So the principal amount of the bonds is $2,130,000.
Mhm.
It's like when you sell a house, if you buy a $200,000 house, you
Right.
pay a real estate commission of 6%.
Mhm.
Well, my percentage was 1%,
And 1% of 2 million is $20,000?
21,300.
All right, well, okay, so did you factor in your costs,
Yes,
cost of the bond,
yes.
and what is our rate of return?
So
After that 2 million, since we putting out this fee to and closing costs.
I see what you mean. You asking
all
what
those
is
things,
what is the
yes.
interest rate including the closing costs?
Mhm.
Hang on a minute.
No, I mean, our return. So you're saying we're gonna get 3%? Wait, do we get 3% off the bond in our pocket?
You
I
pay
pay 3%.
3.98.
Mhm.
You get 5.4 as a
Back.
return, as
Mhm.
back. And
How
so,
does that work?
sir,
How does that work? You pay 3 and you get 5 back?
yes, sir. So say you went to the bank and you borrowed money to build a house, and the house cost $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
You borrow that 200,000, you put it in the bank, and it'll earn interest in a money market account
Okay.
until
all
you
right.
spend it.
I see what you're saying.
So that's what you're doing. You're gonna borrow 2,130,000.
Mhm.
You're gonna pay out 2% cost of issuance. That balance you're gonna put in the bank account. Right now, the Georgia Fund One's paying 5.4%. So until you spend it, you're gonna earn 5.4. You owe 3.98% or whatever the rate turns out
So
to
we're
be.
really not gonna get 5% because we're gonna be spending that money. So we're not gonna have money sitting there.
You'll get it
2
till you
million
spend it.
won't be earning 5%. It will be earning whatever the balance is, right?
Yes, sir.
Only at the end of the year if we don't spend all of it.
And I want you to spend it. 10%.
And my question is, the cost of obtaining the bond minus all that 2 million. So we're talking about $100,000 out of the pocket.
So the interest that you owe over time, look at the last page of my presentation. See the fourth column called interest? Over
Mhm.
6 years, you'll pay $306,000.
Wait, I'm seeing where is that?
The last page,
13.
page 13, the fourth column.
Depth of service. Oh, okay. Interest. Go ahead.
All the way down at the bottom
Mhm.
is 306,000. And then you can add to that the 2%, which is at what, $42,000. And so that'll be 350,000 is what it costs you to borrow that money. And then you're going to earn 5.4% on 2 million before you spend it. I don't know what that number will turn out. Let's see. 21 million, 2 million one times 10% is 213,000 and 5% is 105,000. So over a 2-year period, I expect you to earn 105,000. So and that's conservative. So you take 350 minus 100, that'd be 250,000. So your
Now,
net cost is 250.
100 is only if we don't spend a penny.
No, sir. 2,130,000 for a whole year at 5.4% is
So, but we can't spend it to earn that money. So we have to not spend it to earn that percentage. So that wouldn't work.
well. But I predict it'll take you 2 years to spend the money.
But
So
still, the balance is decreasing all the time.
it is,
Right.
but you have 2 years to earn it, not just 1 year. So 2,130,000 at 5%. If you didn't spend a dime for 1 year, is $105,000.
Right. But we won't.
But
because
you
we'll be
won't.
spending.
So let's say you'll be spending it over time. So you make 80,000, 60,000 the first year.
Mhm.
You might make 40,000 the second year.
Mhm.
And then by the end of the second year, it's all gone. So 80 and 60 is $120,000.
For 5%. Is that going to be the terms of the bond that we get 5%? Or we don't know?
So you invest it in a money market account and it earns whatever it
Wait,
earns
oh,
over a 2-year
so now-
period. But
I don't know
but
if
the
that's
interest rate
legal
on the
for us to
bonds
do.
is
I
fixed.
don't think we can invest money, the citizens' money in a
You
money
can.
market.
It's called the State of Georgia Fund
Mhm.
One. And
All
they
right.
invest money on behalf of the state and the cities and the counties and the school boards all over the state. They got about, I don't know, 40 billion under management. They only invest in U.S. treasuries or agencies guaranteed by the U.S. Treasury with a maturity no greater than 90 days.
So you're saying our cost of acquisition to do this bond is almost what?
It's, the interest rate, I think, is going to be 3.98%,
And that's gonna be
$306,000.
306,000
The
plus
co-
21,000.
The cost of issuance up front is 2%. That's 42,000.
Oh, so 2% of the 2 million we gotta pay up front.
Yes, sir.
Then, what's this, a 306,
So that's 350,000.
and then 20 for you, and the closing cost is 2 million, right?
No, the bond issue is 2 million.
So it costs us 2 million to get 2 million?
I'm not following you at all.
No, so you're saying, what is the cost of us obtaining the bond? I'm talking about the closing of the bond.
2%, $42,000.
42, you're 20,
And the lawyers are going to make 20.
and yeah, so it's 100-some thousand, right?
No, so that's 42,000.
Look, 20 for you and 20 for the bond.
That's 40.
All right, and then you say, what else? 42.
And then the interest, 3.98% is 306,000.
306. And then there's some other closing costs, right? The
So
lawyer's cost.
that's,
was
we've already
20,000.
accounted for that
All right,
up front.
and how much the bank can charge us? The 2
Nothing.
million?
No, sir.
All right, so you're up to 340,000, right?
Yes, sir.
To get less than 2 million,
We was 2.1 million then,
2
2,130,000.
after we take out, yeah, all the closing costs out,
So
right?
you take 2,130,000 minus 42,000, that's 2,090,000.
No, 300,000, right? Because you're saying we're gonna make this, but the interest on it,
How you evaluate the interest, every year you're paying 3.98%. If you think inflation is going to be greater than 3.98% and you want to get the projects today rather than wait 6 years, then you're better off borrowing money. If you think inflation is going to be if you think inflation is going to be lower than 3.98%, then you're better off waiting.
but so the cost is what I'm looking at. So we giving up out of that 2,300,000
Well, so
just to get it up early.
your SPOS collections are 3 million and change.
Right.
So the 3 million and change is paying the 2.1 million in bonds. You're like,
Mhm.
it's for cash flow. You're advance funding the 3
Right.
million of SPOS. And so the 3 million of SPOS is going to pay the 2,100,000 principal, and it's going to pay the 306,000 in interest. If you didn't borrow any money, you'd save 306,000 plus the 42,000 of closing costs.
Mhm.
But you got to wait 6 years before you do all your projects.
Right, but I don't know if we have that kind of projects to pay out that much money in closing costs.
It's
for-
totally up to you. I ain't trying to convince you to
Yeah,
borrow
yeah.
money.
I'm,
It's up
I'm
to
just
you.
saying logically, I mean, of course, everybody it's like free money.
Well, it ain't free. It's
So,
3.98%.
I mean, to the bondholders, everybody, that's a good bond, 5% or 3%.
Well, it's your full faith and credit.
Yeah.
And there's no bankruptcy statute for cities and counties in Georgia.
So would it be cheaper to get a tax anticipated loan?
So it's oddly enough, normally it would be
Mhm.
a TAN has to be paid off every December 31.
Right.
And so you would just roll TANs. The problem with that, a TAN rate today, because it's a 1-year rate, is around 5%. Remember, the Fed funds rates now is 5.5%.
But
And so oddly enough, the 1-year rate's higher than the 6-year rate.
our cost to get it would be a lot cheaper.
It would be less, yes, sir.
So I mean, if we're doing money wise, you have to look into. I mean, bonds. Of course, the bank will make their money. The attorneys will make the money.
And it's for property taxes, I thought.
Yeah.
So
So
they're,
this is a tax.
you're right, Mayor, almost always 99% of the time, TANs are for working capital, like paying salaries, waiting until your property tax comes in. But you can do them for capital. They don't, most folks don't do it, but you can do it. But reason why, you have to roll them. You have to, by law, they got to be paid off December 31. If it's for capital, you got to go borrow it real quick, January 1, and then every year you borrow a little bit less till the SPOS is over with.
So just thinking about the return on investment of our money is how much? Do you have
So
that down there?
I don't know what that is. Like a return on investment would mean you invest, you buy Coca-Cola stock
Mhm.
and it gives you 10% a year.
I know what it means, but I'm just saying.
Well, they
for-
know such a thing in this. I mean, I don't know.
There's a lot of closing costs. You're looking at 306,000 interest that we're gonna pay no matter what. if we don't spend a dime, we still lose that 306 anyway. We don't make no money. If we spend it all,
But if you don't spend a dime, you're
Right.
going to get 5.4%, which is more than 3.98.
but it's impossible. We're gonna spend it.
Which I
So
was just answering your
5% is
question.
really irrelevant because this interest is still gonna be paid no matter if we spend it today or tomorrow. We're still gonna lose 306,000.
It'll be deducted by
Off of the
whatever
2 million.
interest you earn.
Right.
Which
But
that's
I'm
what you-
saying, so skip what the interest we're gonna earn. Say we spend it the next day,
if you spend it the next day, then
Right.
306 is gone.
it's gone. So it's not like we're gonna be building up this interest to offset this interest because that's not gonna be.
Well, I disagree
That
with
wouldn't
you.
even be the
I
thing.
disagree with you. Regular way of spending money, it's going to take you 18 months or 2 years to spend all the money on the projects that you do.
Mhm.
While that money is there in the bank, it's going to be earning you 5.4%.
For 1 year.
I said it's going to take 18 months or 2 years. If you spend it all in 2 years,
Mhm.
in 1 year, then it'll be gone. But I don't think you'll spend it all in exactly 1 year.
Mhm.
Most of my governments take 18 months to 2 years to spend.
Right. So
I think it.
they won't earn it. It's not, the numbers won't add up, but I'm just saying, we could do it with, and burn the money, that's fine, but those numbers not adding up, because if, we assume that we was gonna make 3%, right?
I believe that there would be no way I could make those numbers add up.
Yeah, it would never
No.
work. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not coming out to say what you're saying it's gonna make, because we're gonna spend it.
I have done a very poor job explaining it to you,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm sorry about it.
No, I mean, because you say if you spend it all, you don't make that interest.
I think you ought to vote against borrowing money. 'Cause
So-
you ain't for it.
Huh? So 2 years.
I
we're
have a
gonna spend it.
question.
I need to go to her.
All right, go ahead. That's fine. I'm done.
Okay,
I'm done.
yeah,
Councilwoman.
yeah, I'm trying to understand this. I'm sorry if you have to repeat it and it's
I
might be a
don't
little
mind it, man.
redundant.
Maybe
Okay.
I can help you understand it better than I could this councilman.
Councilman.
I understand.
All
I
right.
love it.
Okay, so the total amount of the funds is going to be 3,069,000.
That's the total SPOS collections over 6 years.
Right. And so then you're saying that we're going to subtract those other funds, the 306, the 42, and the 2020. And that leaves a balance of, what's that? I've heard 2,090,000.
So look at page 12. Page 12 is the cash flow. And so look at the line underneath source of funds called SPOS collections. You're gonna get about $511,653 a year for 6 years.
You said 12, I'm on 13. Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
12, there you go. Source of funds.
See SPOS collections? Right underneath source of funds?
Yes.
So that SPOS collections, that's 511,653, and there's your 6 years all the way across the page. And on the right, you see is 3,069,000.
Mhm,
So go on down, you see the interest earnings on SPOS collections.
mhm.
Then you see the total source of funds. Now
Mhm.
stop right there. The way the council member Honore, Councilman Honore saying, don't borrow the money, and you got $524,000 a year, and just do your projects out of that, and don't borrow money.
I didn't say that.
Oh, well, I know.
500
I'm
Don't,
saying
I
the
don't mean to
bond
put
wasn't sounding too good. But go ahead.
The 524,000
444. That's what
Mhm.
you'd have every year.
every year.
What the chief talked about earlier, and what I'm talking about, if you wanted to do projects quicker,
Mhm.
you've asked the voters to give you the authority to borrow 2,130,000 paid from that SPOS. So if you go down there, the use of funds, see that principal? 320,000, 335, 350, 360. All that's principal. You're taking SPOS and paying that back. That's 2,130,000. That 2,130,000 is dropped in up here on January 2024. You get that money up front so you can start doing projects. What's it going to cost you? You can see by year 84. See interest.
Uh-huh.
It's going to cost you 84,000, 72,000, 58, 44, 30, 15. There's your 306,000. So borrowing money and getting it up front is costing you 3.98% a year, or 306,000. How you evaluate whether you want to do that or not is inflation. Will it be greater than 3.98% so that you do projects up front quicker? And are there some projects that you want to deliver to your community before 2030? And that's how you decide if that 306,000 is worth it or not. That's the interest that you owe on the loan. And so I'll give you another example that somebody used the other night. Say you're going to buy a house. Most everybody goes and get a mortgage on it. But what you could do is just save up cash money and buy yourself a house 20 years from now when you got enough cash to pay for it.
Okay, well, that totally doesn't relevant for me. Okay, so,
Okay, sorry.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
You like that one? That it kind of takes me away from, I'm concentrating on this right here. Okay, the house part. Okay, so the 511, the interest earned, and then we'll have the 524, and then debt service principal 320.
So look at that 524 in the first column. That 524 is your splost.
Mhm.
You'd pay back 404,000 on your bond, and you'd have 119,000 of splost available for pay-as-you-go projects. And so that in your first year, 24, 25,
Mhm.
you'd have this 119,000 plus the bond issue below it of 2,130,000 to do projects in year one.
I'm not either for or against it.
I know.
I'm just trying to understand.
No, I know, and I ain't trying to sell it to you. I promise you, I don't.
I understand, but
I'm-
I'm just trying to understand.
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
all.
I'm your financial advisor, so I don't care whether you issue them or not. My job is just here to talk to you about the option.
Okay, so what was that? You said the times that we would need to spend.
So the 2,130,000, you can always, the interest rate on the bonds is 3.98%. So you always get to earn 3.98 and keep it. If you earn above the 3.98%, the IRS hates it because you borrow money at a tax exempt rate. So the government doesn't get, the federal government, the state government, they don't get to charge an income tax on the interest earnings that the bank receives from your bonds. They're tax exempt. And so the IRS comes with all these regulations to try to keep the issuance of tax exempt bonds down. And so they say you can always earn what your bonds are costing you, 3.98%.
Mhm,
If you earn above that, our 5.4%,
mhm.
that's called an arbitrage profit. So 4% minus 5.4 is a 1.4% profit. You get to keep that profit provided you spend the bond proceeds over a 2-year period pursuant to a drawdown schedule. And that drawdown schedule is 10% in 6 months, 45% in a year, 75% in 18 months, and all of it in 2 years. If you miss any one of those 6-month targets, the whole kit and caboodle's over with. You don't get to earn the 1.4% profit, but you do get to keep the 4%.
Okay, so it was best then to arrange our projects and spend that money when those drawdown dates become.
Right. You get to
Okay.
keep the whole 5.4%.
Mhm. And that's that excess, the 119.
No. So that 119 you get regardless, that's just excess splost.
Okay.
I haven't put in here interest earnings on your bond issue.
Oh, okay.
So that your interest earnings on the bond issue ain't in here. But take for instance, 2,130,000. At 10%, that's 213,000.
Mhm.
At 5%, that's 105,000. So if you didn't spend a dime, it'd be 105,000 added to this. But as Councilman Honore talked about, you're going to spend it some in the first year, you're going to spend some in the second year. So you'll earn somewhere around $100,000 over a 2-year period. But that number's not in here.
Okay.
But I was trying to tell him that $306,000 interest cost, it'll be reduced by whatever interest you earn.
Right. Which could be that 100,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And so, but as you all as a group think about whether you want to borrow money or not, the decision matrix tree you go through is, do you think inflation is going to be higher than the interest rate you're paying? And do you want to deliver projects to your community quicker than you can collect it every year here?
Can you borrow, do a bond for every project?
Well, you just do one and then it's for all projects.
No, can you do it for each project?
I mean, I don't know.
That would cost more, the interest rate.
You wouldn't, that would not be cost effective because you have to pay the lawyers every time you do one.
It'd be cheaper than.
So it'd be cheaper to
upfront
do
of them,
one for
upfront
all of them.
money.
Sir?
Cheaper than upfront money at 300,000 now, right?
When you got to pay, this is
We might not
America.
need it on.
This is
big
America.
projects.
You got to pay a lawyer regardless.
Yeah, I mean, but we might not have a large project like that. just when we need it.
Well, so
The parking lot, we get a bond, get that done, and then we continue on without.
but you
cost.
can't get a bond without a lawyer drawing up papers.
Oh, I understand that. I
Okay.
understand. But the commission and stuff is smaller,
So,
or
but
whatever bond.
But
So-
I'm sorry, the amount that's going to
quiet,
be coming to us anyway, is that the,
3,069,000
no, not all at one time,
over 6 years.
over 6 years, but
That 2,130,000 would come to you all at once.
right. But if we didn't do a bond, we would, is this splash collection interest earnings? How
That's-
much would it be? Would it
That's
be-
just on the splash. So that 511,653, that interest earnings footnote 3, look down there. I said interest earnings is calculated at half of the annual collections earning interest rates for a year. And so let's take 511,000. $511,000 divided by 2 is 255,000 times 0.054 is 13,797. And so I guess back in September, when I ran this for Lithonia, the interest rate was 5%. Oh yeah, look at the top. See it where it says interest rate 5%? So I based it
On what
on
page you on? You still on
Page-
12?
page 12. Look at the top left-hand corner.
Yes, 5%. That's
5%. So that's what it's based on. So that 12,791 is taking half of 511,000, just half the annual collections, and saying you're going to earn 5% on it. And that's 12,791 a year. See, that 511 is going to come in monthly.
Does this email too?
Your SPLOST collections come in monthly.
511,000. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I thought it was $42,637.75 per
My
month.
accountant can't look at that.
SPLOST.
Yeah.
So let's see here, 511,653, divide that by 12 is 42,637 a month. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, I heard you say, that 511 was monthly.
I apologize, it's annually.
Okay.
I could have done, and I made a mistake, it's annually.
No problem, just making sure.
511,630 is annual.
I've let Councilman Honore rattle me.
Well,
Yeah.
That's what he's here to
Is
do.
that right? He does a very good job at
That's his job.
it.
It's just that, I'm a little familiar with finance, just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Not a lot. I'm not that smart.
You are. You just undersell yourself.
Yeah, that's it.
So we would take the 511,653 and divide it by 12, and that
Yes.
would be the monthly.
That'd be the monthly amount. As soon as you get that 42,637, you'll invest it. And your bonds are paid twice a year, every 6 months. So you get it, you invest it. 1 6 months is interest only. The next 6 months is interest and principal. So that 320,000, you'll be able to hold that SPLOST collections. You'll be able to hold that for a whole 12-month period before you pay it. The 84,000, that's split into 2 payments twice a year. So it'd be 42,000 1 6 month and 42,000 the next 6 months. Now, I showed you for a reason, nearly all of your fellow cities in DeKalb are issuing bonds in conjunction with their SPLOST because they want to jumpstart projects. And so your question is, of those projects, I mean, y'all know what they are, I don't. Are there some of them that you want to jumpstart totaling 2 million? Maybe there's only 1.5 million of them. Maybe there's only 1 million of them. I could go out and get you a bid and we'll know for sure what the interest rate would be. And then you all don't have to borrow the whole 2,000,001. You can borrow 1.5 million or 1.8 million or whatever you decide you want to jumpstart.
So my question to council is tonight, of course, we want to find out your thoughts. What are you thinking about it? Because when I see, I'm just gonna be honest with you, when I see North DeKalb doing things, I look at our area and I say, you know what, why are we not doing this? Why we look the way we look? Now I see what, right, now I see why. So long story short, when it was brought to us, me and Chief was on the call for an hour or so trying to, figure it out. But this guy right here explained it to the T where I just understood, what's really going on in our state. So that's why I wanted him to come today so he can explain it to you all. Now, I know Councilman Honore is stating that he wants to, consult with the attorneys. I'm going to be transparent with the accountant. I'm sorry, the accountant. We get an accountant like The same firm, we got the same firm, but every month it's a different person. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It is. So who I'm gonna send this to, I have no idea what their name is today. I'm just gonna be honest. What's her name this week? Okay, gotcha.
So the
So we
main
can-
accountant,
We,
what's the lady's name?
Keisha is going, yeah, she's giving her stuff to other.
She
So
come
is
look
the
at it.
attorney.
We have an accountant, we have an attorney and all of that, but I can send it to them and get an opinion for you, if that's what you want, because
I
that's what
think
we
so.
need to do. But at the end of the day, I need y'all to really start thinking, like, do y'all want us to continue to sit on this stuff like the parking lot? Do y'all want to continue to sit on Masonic Lodge? All this stuff that we keep talking about every month, I'm tired of it.
Okay,
I'm ready to move Lithonia forward, please.
Mayor, let me clarify my stance, please. I'd like to say something.
Go ahead.
My stance is not on the denial of getting the money, I want the projects to begin. My stance is being careful with what we think we're getting and what we're not getting. So, being a steward of the money of the city is just, we need to, of course, we went through these 13 pages like nothing and, and numbers flying, and what you could get, and that's fine. And the man knows what he's doing, but for us, I have a background in summer, but a lot of it's, going over our heads and to say that, I really wanted, I believe in getting the money, the bond. We did the bond for this building, of course, that's not the issue. I just want, if anything had to be done tonight, I thought it was too fast. That's why I was like, well, let's check these numbers out before we do
I
it.
thought we were just doing to see if we want him to go out and kind of
So-
find out some figures.
so we could spend- Because we could spend
That's
20,
all I thought we was voting on, right?
That's the consensus, yeah.
so we lock in 20,000 right away.
No, the decision, I thought we were voting to say if we wanted him to go out and shop around and get us interest.
Right,
That's the
right.
only thing we
You're
voted
not
on.
voting to accept it.
Right.
He's gonna shop it and bring it to you, and then you vote.
So we approving this contract at 20,000. That's what you're saying? Is that?
No.
It's only if you issue the bond. If you don't issue the bond, you don't.
All right. But anyway, I was just saying it was so fast. That's my own stance. The bond is perfect because we did this before with the bill. To do projects, we could do it. I was just trying to make sure the
And
numbers.
then too, council, when we send you guys stuff, we need y'all to like look at it. Like,
Mhm.
get your head seen before you even get in here, so you won't be thinking, oh, we just got this today.
Yeah, I'll look
I
over
need
it.
y'all help in that. You're right. I need y'all to.
I'm sorry, what was the 306,000 again?
The interest paid on the 2 million at 3.98%.
Okay, and the 42, so that was.
That would be the upfront issuance cost.
Oh, okay.
1% to me and 1% to the lawyer.
Okay, I thought it was 20 and 20 and then 42 and then 306. How much was the?
20, 20, and 306.
Okay, okay. All right.
And just so y'all know a little bit about me, y'all know me. I've been in business 39 years. I was born and raised in Millersville, Georgia. I've represented the cab since 1985. I'm Stonecrest financial advisor, Brookhaven's financial advisor. I represent Clayton County, all the cities in Clayton, Cobb County, Gwinnett County, all the cities in Gwinnett, Albany, Doherty, Brunswick, Glenn. I've been in business 39 years.
I think I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so when it comes to interest rates, because I understand that that's not a fixed number, 3.98%. And so,
It will be fixed whenever we get it. Whenever we get it.
but that's based on my timing, right?
Say what now?
It's based on my timing.
What? Correct. So the interest rate changes every day.
That's what I'm-
3.98 is my expert opinion of what I think you'll pay. When I send out the bids, when I get the bids back from a bank, when I lock it down, when you vote, it'll be fixed for 6 years.
Okay, I understand that part, but it was that part about it being able to fluctuate based on whatever we decide. I want to say this too. I agree with what Councilman Honoré was saying, is that I didn't get this paperwork until we got here. I didn't even see it. So it would be good for us just to review it, but I'm personally okay with shopping around with those numbers, since that's what's up for decision. Our splash is gonna break down to about 42,000 a month. If we're trying to rush all this money into our different allocations that we planned out, you know, like the capital outlays and all that stuff, it's gonna start adding up very quickly. So I know 42 a month isn't gonna be a lot, so that's why I'm like in between right now. But I know that sometimes you gotta spend money to make money, and that means interest, unfortunately. And I do wanna see all these projects come to fruition. So that's my only statement I wanted to make for that.
And also, I want you to explain that again if I say it wrong. Just say if we have a situation where, okay, we get a quote for fixing whatever, something like whatever you all decide.
Infrastructure, 800,000.
And we get this estimate today. We don't have it today, but we get our spots in, and then it starts rolling in. Then everything changes as far as price is concerned, because everything keeps going up, right? It happens all the time. This is the reason for him being here tonight, because I just don't want us to be in a predicament in the bind, like, oh, we can't get this done no more, because they don't went up on the wood again. I mean, just when you think about, I know you're thinking about what's coming in his pocket, what's coming in the attorney's pocket.
No, not real.
That you thinking it. You thinking.
No,
about
I'm
it.
total cost of acquisition. That's what
Okay.
I'm looking at.
But think about the city. Think about how much you're gonna do an impact to people. Say, hey, you know what? Thank you. Y'all finally got this done. So just think about that. Okay?
No, it's nothing to do with the I want to get the bonds. I'm fine with that. I was just saying what he was presenting and what the true cost of it.
Right.
That was my question. So I wasn't saying not to get it. I was
Just
saying,
think about that too. Just think
look-
about that and
Yeah, that's fine. You know, to spend $500,000 to get, you know, 2 million. You know, that's all. Just to make sure that we're doing the right thing and everything is aboard. And I know there's cost for everything. So, but the true numbers need to be presented to the council that, you know, this is exactly what you're spending and this is what you're gonna get.
It was-
all today,
you know.
we just trying to get a consensus or approval from council to see if he can shop.
And it was important to me,
Call a vote.
and it was important to me, I didn't hide nothing from you. All the numbers were there.
I know
You
I
know
saw
what
the
I'm saying?
number. We
I
can
have one
move
more
on.
question for Chief. Do you happen to know what the total cost is and how long it might take for those big ticket items like the Lithonia Lodge, like the recommended parking lot
So,
partnership?
You ready for me to go shopping?
the parking lot, I think the original plan was 1.2 million. It got cut down because we don't have to do a whole new pipe. We can tap in the old one. Talking to Harry, we talked about anywhere between 500 to 700,000. To do that parking lot, which that'll be a self-pay parking lot in Masonic Lodge. The feasibility I saw on that last time was like $1 million. But the thing about it is, I would have to subtract like that,
The
the
electrical,
electrical that was done in there and the AC that was done, because that was a part of the feasibility. Remember, we had someone steal the
wiring.
the wire.
So there's a chance that basically with just those two pipes alone, if we just want those done within like the next year or so, 2 years, right? That's gonna eat up all of that from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that could, now, there is a whole nother, and we're still working on this IGA with the cabs for them to help with infrastructure improvements in the city. That's the, remember the four small cities. That hasn't been signed off in the cab. We just kind of, the attorneys just kind of submitted everything to the cab to see if they're gonna sign off on the IGA, we're supposed to know something at the end of the year.
But what does that get us again?
That's $1 million in 2024, $1 million in 2025, will be $100,000 a month each month.
Just for using that agreement? with-
So it'll be in a new agreement with them to do like whatever projects that we presented to them. We didn't specify one thing. Some cities were like, oh, we just want to do stormwater only. We said, no, we're not trying to do just stormwater. We're trying to do stormwater and anything that's going to benefit not only the citizens of Lithonia, but people who come to Lithonia.
That's it.
And the county know about starting at 25, though.
24.
So the splash starts April of 24.
Yeah, it's different from the spots. It don't have nothing to do with spots.
This is
Yeah.
extra.
It's just, it's something we
Question.
do meeting after meeting after meeting.
So, we talked, you just said for the Masonic Lodge, it could possibly be if we do the complete work,
Yeah, that's the old feasibility that you guys had done back.
It's the feasibility that, yeah, because it could be more now.
I mean, it could be more, it could be less.
Okay, but when we did the facility improvement, would that fall under that facility improvement
Facility improvement or capital outlay project.
or capital? Okay, because both of that 184 and 184, and we talking about $1 million. But then we also said that if one project costs more than was allocated, then we're taking away from another project. Say, for instance, if we were to move forward with the facility,
Yeah.
Stonewall.
Yeah,
Gotta
you-
use
you
for
can-
that parking lot.
Yeah, you can take away from us.
So it won't be
We gotta
killing
spend it
all
on
the
this,
money.
But remember,
it doesn't
don't
have,
get so, I don't, getting good.
Stormwater. Stone,
not just that, even the parking lot, just say it costs more.
The parking lot, so,
That could be transportation.
yeah, the parking lot can be transportation, which,
We-
you know, is
we-
1.4 million, but the parking lot could also, and this is another thing I want to bring, with a bond, if you have 2.1 million up front, and say we're getting 100,000 a month from the cab, you can, because the 100,000 from the cab, we can use for stormwater improvements, because we gotta tap into that drain there. So the 100,000 that the cab you've given us, we can add to whatever we're gonna take out of the 2.1 million. So it's not like 600,000 we have to use out of that 2.1 million.
Mhm.
There'll be 100,000 coming in a month from the cab as long as the IGA is.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can we go back to Masonic Lodge? Because you said don't get caught up with the Masonic Lodge, but we could get caught up with something else. Can we go back to the Masonic Lodge again? So if that costs more than what you have allocated, you said it can fall under a different, it can fall under infrastructure improvements and facility improvement. So it doesn't have to be allocated exactly how you have it here, as long as it's something,
As long
one
as
of
it
these
falls under
items.
one of those,
Yeah, okay, that's what I was wanting to
If
understand.
I'm not mistaken, I don't know,
Yeah, yeah,
you might know this too, but-
Yeah, okay,
If I'm not mistaken, Spot
Yeah.
Two,
I remember,
you can use
but I
money
just
from
wanted-
us, you just have to-
because when you said don't get caught up, I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
Don't get caught up.
We got a lot of stormwater. Stormwater will take care of that by itself.
Yeah, so that's, so with Splosh Two, remember, I don't know if you guys remember when I told you, Splosh Two, the cab was so far behind, we didn't do what the whole state did. So with Splosh Two, even though there's like 1.4 million in transportation, say we're doing projects and we need to move money to another project, as long as we do things the right way, vote, and we write a memo about doing that project and moving the money, we can. Splosh One is a lot more restricted.
See, I work. with-
Okay, yeah, I remember, 'cause, yeah, we went to those meetings.
And I
Yeah.
Yeah,
remember
but we
your
were a little
SPOS
bit
one
more.
was real restricted
It
because
was.
Fran Millar, that Republican legislator in Dunwoody, he didn't want Lee May to build all the government facilities beside the cab. So he limited what you could do, no more than 15% to renovate existing stuff. Remember that?
Mhm.
But so they went to the legislature and got them to change it. Now your SPOS is like the other 154 counties, 158 counties in Georgia. You were alone, you were 159 counties, you were by yourself with this squirrely SPOS. Now yours is like everybody else. Notice when I helped the lawyer draw all this, because I represented you and Stonecrest at the same time when we negotiated the county. On page 11, it says project categories and estimated budget allocations.
For 6 years,
So the estimated
Yeah.
is something I added.
Good,
So you get the swap.
yeah,
You
yeah,
don't know what all that stuff's gonna cost. This
Right.
is just your estimate.
among the buckets. Okay, gotcha.
All right, council. I would like to get a vote to move forward.
I thought we was gonna get a consensus. We need a vote.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever council want to do at this time. You want to vote?
A vote to do what?
For him to shop the rates, then we bring it back to us.
Okay.
Lee,
I'll
what's his
make
name? What's his name?
Go
Andre
ahead.
wanted to do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead, do the vote.
What's his name?
State your full name.
Piper.
Me?
Oh, just the company Piper Sandler?
Yes, sir, Piper Sandler.
All right. Make a motion that Piper Sandler do his due diligence for the bond issuance.
Is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Did we wear you out on that?
You did. She comes close second.
Well, I know.
So I wish y'all a Merry Christmas, but I think I'll be back before Christmas. I don't know
All
what
right.
your week schedule is, but it'll take me about 2 weeks to get
That will
rates.
be,
All
will
right.
be in 2 weeks.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a good night.
thank y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all gonna do that? Cause y'all said it the same way.
Oh, I know.
What y'all knocking on?
We was talking the same.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, entertainment district.
Before I go, Mr.
Uh-oh.
Wanda wants to tell you.
Oh, Ms. Rwanda, yes,
I'm
ma'am.
so delighted to be here for the end of the year. I
Thank you.
cannot tell you how happy I am with the city. Being out here running this thing called the Alliance, 4 years is my anniversary today.
Wow, all right.
Happy
Around the same time. So
Wow.
to hear you say what you just did and to move projects faster from your city and its residents and to take the advice of this gentleman who's been across this great state doing it, way to go, way to go. I didn't come to tell you that, I came to tell you about your salary.
Oh, all right.
Thank you.
Because I know you might be here a little longer. The one on the bottom is for Councilwoman Inman. And I bought an assortment of drinks. I decided I was not getting you cookies. I was not getting you y'all no sweet potato pie.
Well, that's not right.
Good snacks.
Thank you.
Thank you all. It's good to see
Good
everyone.
to see you.
Happy holidays.
You
I'll
too.
see you at Jingle on Me.
Yes.
All righty.
All right, Chief. you have
All right.
the floor.
Entertainment district. I'm gonna be real quick with this, so we're not on. Before, you know me, I don't like to go round and round and spend money with the attorney if I don't have to. So I want to get a couple opinions real fast before I even have them draw up an ordinance or even look at it. This is kind of the ideas we have, and I wanted to run it by you guys. Entertainment district's looking like it'll be on Main Street from Conyers to right in here, like where Obsessions. Not is it Obsessions? No, Obsessions.
That's some kind
I
of
went
club.
way
isn't
back.
it?
Occasions.
Okay.
Occasions on Main. Golly.
That's a club.
Huh? Don't ask why I know that.
That's an old club.
But yeah, occasions on Main. So that's kind of where the entertainment district will be. And it'll be kind of more of a, the businesses can serve alcohol. We're looking at Lithonia City cups only. They will purchase the cups from us. Starting out, that's part of the ordinance. I've already talked to a couple other cities about how they do that. We're going to put in a new public intox ordinance, put in a new open container ordinance, and a new disorderly conduct ordinance. Those will all be presented at the same time, just to kind of make sure we're not just saying, oh yeah, here's the entertainment district, go have fun. It'll be kind of more so we can control it. And the main reason why we're coming up to where occasions is in case they have an event, we get businesses that come in and they want to go to Flavors or they want to go down to Luxor or wherever, whoever moves in here, we don't know what's going to happen. It allows them to walk back and forth. There'll be stickers placed on the sidewalks, letting you know entertainment district starts here, goes here. We'll have designations, maybe some signs or whatnot. But I just want to make sure that everybody is okay with that before I get a consensus. You guys are okay with that before I send it to the attorney and pay for ordinance.
Okay, so the entertainment district, again, we walking around with a cup.
Yeah,
from
so
one point to-
so basically it'll be on Main Street. So that way, like if we have festivals, because we did have a festival that we did have a very large brewery that is well known throughout the country say, hey, we want to sponsor it. But at the time we didn't have the ability to have the open container. So really it was just kind of short notice, so we really couldn't do it. Now that would have been huge because Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, it was a pretty big sponsorship. It was Sweetwater Brewery. I mean, they're yeah. I mean, so they wanted to come set up, do all this stuff. I mean, and once you invite those type of people there, I mean, it brings a lot of people. So the entertainment district, yes, to answer your question, will be so you can walk around with a cup, but you can only be in that area. Now, if you deviate off or whatever, that's on you.
What if I have my cup over there by Straight and Natural? I get locked up
Straight and natural.
right there on the other side.
on the other side of Main Street.
Walk into a car, I guess.
I thought she was on the front side.
She's on the front
back.
side.
Well,
Yeah.
well, who else over there on the other side?
You talking about on the backside where Flavors and them have the entrance? Yeah, I mean, you
Well,
can't
he
be just
had
outside
pictures
walking
of-
around over there. I mean, you could create that as the entertainment district, but the thought was to do the courtyard. Okay,
Yeah, what if I'm over there?
the courtyard that'll be in there.
What courtyard?
Yours.
Lithonia been fighting with last year.
Huh?
Where the picnic tables are,
Oh, the bricks, on the bricks.
on the
Okay.
bricks, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the
So
bricks.
is that
That's the name of
included? You say courtyard, I don't know which courtyard.
On the bricks. That's the name.
On the bricks,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what you call it?
Courtyard, kind of suggestion.
Yeah.
So, downtown Decatur, that's it, and I'm there right on. That whole square, I know we're not made like that, but that whole square, front and back, you see how our businesses have a front and back?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Decatur is like that.
Mhm.
That whole square is entertainment district, and it works. So, I know we're not made like a square, but if you're gonna say that, we can set.
Yeah, I'm following you. I'm following you.
you.
You talking about Hollingsworth, where Hollingsworth, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the goal is to get new businesses or more businesses on the backside of that plaza anyway, yeah. So you wanna include them, cause we don't know what they may be in.
So you talking about all the way on the front, what is that, Max Cleveland? Not
Yeah.
going, you
No,
going
not all the way to there, just.
to the back of those
the back
buildings?
Part of the front
What,
of this plaza.
what about they back there with a cup in the apartments?
That's
No,
what we got
that's on them.
That's on
That's
them?
not
Yeah.
entertainment district.
That's
So
not
it
intended.
stops right, pretty
With a
much
stop-
right
pretty
at
much a
that
sidewalk.
parking lot.
That's it. Yeah, that's how most cities do it anyway.
The parking
Yeah, I
lot.
mean,
You
so,
can't walk
here-
around.
here's the thing, not to get in the specifics of all that, but that's Hollingsworth. That's an actual street. Just like you can't be walking in Main Street, you can't be walking in the middle of Hollingsworth. It's the same thing. So if the officer goes back there and you're just standing in the middle of Hollingsworth, you're in the middle of the street with open painting. Yeah, you can't.
Okay, so you
can't do it.
said from Conyers Street?
Conyer Street across the railroad tracks all the way down to right here. It'll be where Occasions is.
Casey, that's Wiggins,
Yeah, just past Wiggins,
past, including,
including Occasions.
Well, you might as well go up to Johnson Street.
yeah, I mean, how you gonna stop
You
in
can
the
go to
middle?
Johnson
I
Street.
mean,
Yeah,
that- what you- like, it doesn't stop it.
just right there. Just right there.
Right there on the corner where.
Yeah, just right there on the corner.
where
Yeah,
the
not
sidewalk is.
going down Conyer Street. No, just Main Street. I'm just giving you a reference.
So if I'm walking home, no, I'm playing.
I agree with Councilwoman.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, you can ride all around. They ain't gonna stop.
All right,
Okay,
right. Cool.
but your cup, if you're walking and your cup is empty.
Here we go.
No, go ahead. I'm-
All right, so we're good with that.
All right, you got it. So,
You need to vote for that.
Yes, I need consensus.
everybody good?
yeah, I'm good.
All right,
Mhm.
All right, City Hall lights.
okay. Me again, I know. So, No. Consensus. Mhm. The vote will be the ordinance. So, City Hall lighting, it's so hard to get people to come out and give estimates right now. Everybody's busy, this and that. So I don't know if you guys know, but out here we have lights that are in the awning.
Mhm.
People don't even realize it because half of them are out or they're just not even really lit.
Oh.
And we actually have floodlights that are on top of the building that
No.
shine down into the parking lot
Mm.
that aren't working either.
Mm-hmm.
It's dog.
So one thing I want to do is I've got some people looking at some other stuff for the outside of the building, but get this parking lot lit up
Okay.
so we can see out here.
Kim?
What we need, electrician or?
So yeah, so real time, he's our electrician that we use for anything. He's the one that has been approved every time. We've called multiple people to come out here. It's always, hey, I'll get to you when I can. We're busy. It might be a week, might be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We don't know.
Question whenever you get,
Go ahead.
can we include some lights at Kelly Park? Because, huh? Because, I
That
mean,
ain't our park.
that ain't our
That's right.
park.
Nope.
That's housing authority. I can't ask housing authority.
Yeah, because when we were out there at the tree lighting, it's almost, I had to use
Yeah.
my light to look down so I don't trip over.
I can ask and see what they.
Okay.
So the quotes that you have, one is for the floodlights and it'll turn everything. I mean, it's big LED floodlights, but he's got to replace the box that's on top because that's why they're not working. And then the other one is to take the lights that are in the awning that shine down along the side of the building and replace those to LED. Now, some of those ballasts, I guess you would call them, they're not working. Because I tried to replace one of the lights myself to see if it was just the light bulb. It's not.
It's not.
You may need our approval, because it's less than 5K for one of them, right? And the other one-
Yeah, but I'm already doing both. I like to have y'all's approval
Okay, well,
anyways,
I appreciate that.
because that way y'all know what's
Well,
going on.
I
But
think-
that'll come out of facility upgrades and SPOS.
I think we need as much light as we can get
Mhm.
for safety.
I didn't see it.
It's dark when I see him.
Yeah, I need a vote.
I'd like to make a motion to approve, quote number 81 and quote number 82 for, lighting, city hall lighting, rooftop, et cetera. What did you say the dollar amount?
Y'all have it, so everybody know what it is. Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you so much. Now we're getting ready for police vehicles. Let them get set up real quick.
Mm-mm. That was bad. He couldn't.
Thank you for those who are here with us. Glad to see you all.
What happened to the Fox Technology was here?
I didn't know if you needed to do that.
Oh.
I wasn't expecting that, was She got her nails done. I know you're not. You said that we-
No relation. Are you here? High school program. Walking in.
Should I do it?
Or your first meeting?
Should I do it?
Yeah, hell yeah. Do everything. Huh? Yeah. Oh yeah, we had a big floor. So I remember Devin doing. I remember we opened the doors. That's when I came in the first time. Yeah. Yeah. And they can present the car.
So I can get it up. So I know we had this discussion and we did a consensus about the patrol vehicles. We are kind of in an emergency situation, and as soon as I get it pulled up, I can talk a little bit more. Mine's fast.
Yours is line?
So this is the same PowerPoint I showed you before. I just changed some things in it, and you can. So real quick, ready up. So this is where we're at. So we talked about enterprise, and we've been talking with enterprise since the last time I talked to you guys. When SPOS got voted, I called them and said, okay, SPOS was voted yes. Let's go ahead and see what you got, see what the deal is, all that. We sent the contract that they have to our attorneys just for them to look at. That's one of their approval processes. Our attorney kind of had some questions about stuff, sent it back to them. Their attorney, our attorney met, had a conversation. We're going on 3 weeks now, and we haven't heard nothing. I've talked to the rep from Enterprise a couple of times. She's like, go ahead and skip to the next one. She basically said, oh yeah, I don't know what's going on. Have you heard anything from your side? I haven't heard nothing from my side. I said, no. I said, I need to know something now. We do have a couple of problems going on. One, you see that 2009 Crown Vic, that's one of the old CID cars. It currently has a transmission issue right now. The 2012 Dodge Charger, which is actually, he's out on the road right now. That's Bong's car, our night shift guy. We just recently found out that the frame is bent, and it was apparently bent about 7 years ago in an accident. That's why that car constantly has to get something fixed on it. The check engine light's on that one. We don't have a code enforcement car right now. It's down. I've actually been loaning my car out for them to use. So with that being said, I talked to Enterprise, especially today, and talked to them as early as today, and said, okay, where are we at? She said, well, even if you said yes today, I couldn't get your car till probably end of March.
Oh my gosh.
So, go ahead. So what I did is that right there, just so you guys know, that 24,600, that's what we got as a check. It's already deposited in the account for the car that was totaled out. So really, we got more money than we only thought we were going to have a total of maybe 27,000 between those three cars. We'll have more. So what I did was, being that we couldn't get it so long, I've actually been talking to other places that are close by. There is a dealership. He has the 5 cars we need, that they're in stock, that we could have a city council car in 2 weeks on the lot, and we would have the other 4 cars in 30 to 35 days. Because I do not want to sit here and us have to pay out of pocket again to fix 2 cars, especially the one of the cars we plan on selling. Because if we have to put a transmission in a car, that's a few $1,000s. That, to me, that's pointless for us to spend a few $1,000s on cars when we're looking at spending SPLOST money to get cars. Go ahead. So in red, that's what they currently have: the 4 Durangos and the 1 Charger. One of the Durangos would be the city council vehicle, and then we'd have a K9 car. And well, that's another thing. Patterson's car probably needs an oil pump too. So go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. All right. So this is the other company that we talked about that I think was our second choice, that we've currently talked to them as early as today. This is a company that if something happens and we just somehow can't afford the cars, which that's not going to happen, our SPLOST is tripled since we're used to, then you just give the cars back to them at no cost, because they deal with only municipalities. They deal with only government vehicles. This right here, if we were to say yes today, we're looking at maybe a week to 10-day turnaround to have money to purchase cars. That way we would, and our first payment wouldn't be till July 1st of next year, which would be our fiscal budget year. You only make that one payment every fiscal budget year, which would be $56,000 that one time each year for 6 years, which is what we talked about when we talked about using the SPLOST money. So all cars will be here within 30 to 45 days at the most, ready to go. Go ahead.
Then you have to get them outfitted.
That's outfitted.
They already
See, with this place right, these are the actual cars right here.
Okay.
Those are the actual vehicles. So the benefit to these guys are they are directly across the street from the outfitter. They deliver the cars to us. We don't go get them at all.
City council vehicle.
So that one of those Durangos, one of those Durangos right there, that's the Durango. But just so you know, you guys won't have black wheels. I've already told them to look at getting me some regular hubcaps or wheels for the Durango, so it looks natural and it looks regular. Now, let me tell you the other reason why I chose that. So in 2 years, if we need another new car, it's a lot easier for me to take that car, make it a patrol vehicle, and get council a newer car,
Okay.
rather than have to go buy another patrol vehicle and completely pay. And we already know how the police vehicles are. They're scarce. I mean, they're doing away with the Tahoe. They're doing away with the Charger. I mean, you're going to be limited in what you can get in 2 years. So with that right there, city council is not going to be putting hundreds and hundreds and thousands of miles on it. So in 2 years, if we need a new police vehicle, you put that one in service as a police vehicle, you pay a very limited amount of money to upfit it because it's already pretty much done. And then city council can get another new car.
Why do you keep talking about city council?
It's just,
Okay,
I mean-
let's talk about big. Okay, can I ask a question?
yes, go ahead.
Okay, so these cars, and we talking about how many cars? New cars?
It's four police. Well, it's 4 Durangos and 1 Charger. It's 5 cars.
Okay, and will all of these cars be going home every night? With
Other
all-
than the council card, yes.
So there will be no cars on outside.
There will be a couple spare cars outside still. It's just the cars right now, like, okay, Vong's car, he's a full-time officer. Okay, his car is a take-home car. That's a car that needs to be replaced. Patterson's car, that's a take-home car. The K9, that's one that'll be replaced. And then we'll have one Taurus, one of the Tauruses that doesn't have high miles. We don't want to sell it. We want to put that on this as a spare car over here. So that way we don't have issues like right now with Brooks, code enforcement. He doesn't have a car to drive.
Okay, so reserve, are they driving cars?
Just when they come in here to work,
Right, okay.
just
so,
for the city.
So they'll be driving the
Whatever the oldest spare car is, that's what they drive to work the city. It's a reserve. It's the luxury of us allowing you to have a badge and work extra jobs without being here. So you get to drive the older car, in my opinion.
Good, sounds good. Okay, thank you.
All right, go. I don't know if there's anything else, but keep going. If you can see red. Okay, no, there's nothing else. So going back to this, I need to get a vote in order to move forward with that government lease so I can try to get these vehicles, because I have to send government lease the email. They'll have to send a packet here for us to review. I think it's like $600 process fee to process everything. That's all you pay to process. But like I said, they'll have funding with us to us, and I think he said 12 days at the most. 12 days at the most. But my goal is of course, the council car doesn't have to get upfitted with nothing. It just comes straight here. The other cars need to get upfitted.
So after a vote, is that when it goes to an attorney for the contract, or how does that work?
Yeah, so after a vote, what I do is I tell them we voted yes. We do the $600 process fee. They'll send it over. I'm not worried about this one. The attorney's already looked at this company before for us, back in the day, before my time.
So it was a total of, was that 280 I saw?
Yeah, so the total funding is $280,000. You pay $56,000 a year, one time a year, and that's at your fiscal year. So we're not coming out of pocket nothing right now.
Oh, okay.
We don't come out of pocket till July 1st, which we already know we'll have plenty of SPLOST money. So and I'm going to tell you like that, and I'll take it a step further with the IGA I was talking about with that $100,000 a year, and the mayor knows this. I fought in a meeting and I said, our officers assist the county just as much as we assist our citizens sometimes, because the county's short on manpower and we want everybody to be safe. So when I said what we want to spend our money for, part of that was police vehicles, whatever we see fit to help. The county still has to accept it, but I laid out a bunch of stuff. I laid out stormwater, roadways, sidewalks, stuff that benefits not just Lithonia, it benefits everybody.
The grant works with it.
Oh, don't go. I got something for that later.
Well, I like to make a motion to approve the police vehicles based on the government lease at $230,000.
280.
$280,000.
All right, is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, ayes have. Okay, thank you.
For discussion,
Thank
this will come in. Is there any way, like, what are you gonna be using that one city council for?
Savannah.
But like your training class,
It's virtual.
Yeah, I gotta drive here.
drive it to your house.
Driving to these events that we
I
just.
know it says council on.
Yeah.
If I can
The
make it
parades,
possible, I'm gonna try to have it here for the parade.
Put what?
I'm gonna try to push to have it here for the parade with
Well.
a look on the sticker.
And is there a dinner, when is there for the, down there in the Tucker Center? Isn't it, when is that, Thursday?
Oh, I know.
No, you're talking about.
Oh, you're talking about the,
The association we're part of.
Yeah,
I have to check my email.
oh,
I'm gonna have it every year for Christmas.
and they're gonna be voting and stuff.
I have to look at that.
Look at
All
my
right,
camera.
let's keep going. We're almost there.
Mhm.
So is there any police department updates, chief? KK, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Major.
Good evening,
Good evening.
council members and Madam Mayor. This is gonna be pretty easy to piggyback off what the chief said about us helping out with DeKalb County. One of the first things that we have up here is that our officers assisted DeKalb with aggravated assault. And while our assistant with aggravated assault pretty much handled the whole case, they was able to locate the vehicle, locate the person shot in the firearms, which is all critical incident, evidence to the case. The officers also were able to conduct a traffic stop, and during that traffic stop, they recovered a gun and over a pound of marijuana that was here in the city of List. They also located a liter of promethazine, which is a Schedule 4 drug, but it's used to make the drink lean.
No, really? Still
Yeah,
think
they also confiscated scales, packaged different packages for drugs and things of that nature. They had 2 individuals that was arrested for that case. They issued 4 truck citations and made 3 arrests in the week. And also, as a result of the efforts that they put in patrolling the neighborhood in the Lithonia Park area, we still haven't had any entering autos. So we're going to keep that effort going. A lot of times the officers get out here and they do good work, and you guys never hear about it. So we're trying to do a little something different. We got 2 officers here tonight that have done some outstanding work, and the chief wanted them recognized before the council. The first one that we have come up, Officer Camp.
All right. She could shoot with them nails.
On October 22nd, Officer Camp responded to a shots fired call, which was located at 779 Dean Court. It was the case that was involved in the young man that shot and killed his grandfather. She was from the time the call was dispatched and the time she got there, it was all within 3 minutes. She was able to take the suspect into custody and also recover the firearm used in the case, which potentially could have been a dangerous situation. He had an AK-47 assault rifle. She did that with some assistance from the cab, but she responded, prompt and bravely on her own. And for that, she should be commended.
Thank you.
Take a picture.
Right here.
You
And
take a
they-
group picture. Yeah. I'm the lone soul. I'm the lone soul. Oh, we can take a picture, group picture.
This is a copy for yourself, and this copy will be placed in your permanent file with Lithonia Police Department. Congratulations, Officer Camp.
All right.
Take a picture real quick, and we'll just stand up behind her.
That's a good idea.
Hold on. Hazelwood wants the angles.
Send me that picture too.
Oh, yeah. Let him plug that in real quick. There it goes.
Second.
Oh, good idea.
Alrighty, moving forward to city administrator.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, Madam Mayor.
Yeah, oh, I know.
We can get Sergeant Warren.
Dr. Warren.
Right.
You did a good job.
So a lot of times people think that in law enforcement we just all grit and don't have any feelings and stuff, because a lot of times they think that we just wear the badge out here and nothing else matters. A lot of us do take this job personal, take a lot of things personal. This particular case, it stems for several years with a runaway here in Lithonia. And Sergeant Warren actually responded to the call and wrote the report for this young lady that was run away. And he took it very personal. He received a text message where this girl that was a runaway out of the cab was being pretty much sex trafficked in and around the DeKalb area and also in Gwinnett. He coordinated his efforts with the GBI, Gwinnett County Police Department, and we located this young lady hidden in an apartment in a closet in Gwinnett County. He also got the missing and exploited children.
So it's like, you know, when you're watching TV,
Yeah.
like a football game, like, have you seen this child? It's,
He also got them involved when they advertised and published, you know, to try to help bring this young lady home. And we say for that, he went above and beyond his call for duty, and his efforts should be commended.
So is this one of your values then?
Yes.
Okay, that's-
So a lot of times, like when they get complaints go in their file and stuff like that. So it is showing that they get good stuff put in their file.
Well, that's good.
This is your copy. Congratulations.
He's tall.
I know, that's what I
We're
thought.
gonna do- You stand right there. We're gonna go
Oh, that
outside.
was perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Stuff for the website.
That will conclude the police report. Thank you.
All right, gotcha. All right, we're gonna move over to mayor's update, no city administrator update right now. I think he's done enough. All right, Jingle on Main. Any updates, chief, on Jingle on Main? Anything council needs to be aware of?
We have people signing up.
Okay, good.
I got a call from the lodge.
Yeah, so,
I got a call from the city.
okay, all right. There should be a call coming to you from the Girl Scouts. I'm not sure which one. But I'll check with them because I told them to call you this week. So, yeah. And then, you know, the cruising, had to be postponed to Saturday. So don't forget about it. Hopefully the weather is fine.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Just-
Cruising on Main with the toys and
Oh.
the canned goods.
Oh.
Yeah, we had to change it because the weather was bad. So be mindful of that. And then also later on tonight, when y'all get home, dress it or whatever, check your phone, send a link to your phone. Remember, I was telling you guys, I would, you know, scout to see
So it
any
looks
other
good.
locations for our, you know, our inauguration from Miss Wynn
Oh.
and, honoring myself. And I want to make sure y'all can look at that because I got some numbers I wanted to, show y'all as well. But just look at it first, just to see, and then I'm going to tell you how much it costs.
Yeah, after you like it, it looks good.
Right. So, that's the only thing I have for the mayor's report, and everything is still go. Council meeting will be on that Thursday in January instead of that, Tuesday, because we're gonna party. And we want everybody to come who can. When we, do our swearing in for myself, Councilman Honorary, Councilwoman Lee.
What, you got a date?
January, is it the second? I think it's the day after New Year. And then our normal council meeting will be that Thursday, which will be January the 4th. I know it's a Tuesday, but, you know, we still party. It's New Year.
So Thursday?
Thursday is the date for the regular meeting. Yeah. And January 2nd for the celebration. Yeah. All right, so that's all I have for now. Any council member updates at all? Okay, we're ready.
I just need to change my roundtable date from, I said last time, 7, but we haven't that it did with Emily still now. So it'll be December 15th at 5:30, love for back to join. And I'll be, sending Mr. Billboard pre-planned dates to make sure I want to get those corporate dates.
Gotcha. Okay. And the round table will be, on Zoom? still?
Yeah.
All right, any other updates, council member updates?
It's not really an update, I just wanted to make sure that you knew. I get this to you so you can think about it, or even if you have answers, we can talk about it next session, but, a lot of neighbors in the neighborhood on my street have asked what's going on with the old bank.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can add it to a conversation, because I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's something going on.
I have something to put around.
Go ahead.
I was asked too about, the children, event, the money that we received, the grant we received for the, project.
Oh,
So we need an update on that. If we could
You
get,
talking about for the, grant that we just got not too long ago?
yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. Have we heard anything from the state yet? Again? So they already told us.
That's kind of part of it.
Oh, for your report. Gotcha.
Oh,
All right.
okay,
He'll
good.
let you know.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay. All right. Any other updates, council member updates? All right. So I'm hearing there's a need for executive session. Is that correct? Yes, ma'am. Is it personnel or is it something else?
Personnel and
Just personnel? Okay, okay. All right. So I need a motion to go into executive session if we could.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session
For personnel.
for personnel.
Can I get a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
We're gonna turn these off.
Let's see if we're gonna have, let's see if anybody. Testing. All right, thank you so much. We are back in our normal city council meeting. The time is now 7:48 PM. And at this time, we would like to go ahead and let the public know as far as the executive session we just came out of, what is about to come. I believe our city clerk needs to tell me something. I need a vote. That's what I was thinking. I need a vote to come back into our normal council meeting.
I motion to come back into our regular council meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much. At this particular time, we did have some things that we have in action, items that we need to take care of today. The first thing I have would be the raise for our city clerk. We want that raise, as we discussed, to be 62,000. Council, whenever you're ready for the motion.
Allow me to motion to raise our city clerk's salary to 62,000.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
It's not
all.
much, but it's something, you know.
All right, it is Christmas time, Christmas bonuses for our full-time. I need a vote for that as well, and the amount.
Wait, we said everybody.
Oh, you said everybody? Oh, great,
Yeah.
okay. Everybody.
Listen, you
Put that on
know,
record, everybody.
You want to make a motion, y'all?
All full time.
Part-time.
Wait, say, huh?
No.
Who is it?
Okay.
Okay,
I would
That's
like
the
to
vote.
make a motion to give everyone a $350 Christmas bonus for full-time employees, council, and Mrs. Brentley.
gotcha. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it, thank you. Hiring a new assistant, which will be our, administrator.
administrative system.
Assistant, okay, got it. That's your next vote, that's the last one.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the new FTE for hiring an assistant.
It's a new name.
An assistant.
Administrator.
It's assistant administrator. When would that be effective? Administrative assistant. Thank you.
You about to,
Why do you say that again?
You can.
You can.
you can just say what the EFT is.
I'd like to make a motion on approving the hiring of full-time new assistant, administrative assistant. That means we're ready to go.
Yeah. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. I have it. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
I motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
Tell
thank
them it's
you.
win. Just jump
Meeting
in.
is over. Thank you so much for your diligence, guys.
Thank you.
Aye.
Good night, Jerome.